Baby, 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 I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, baby, I love you. Hey, come on. Hey, hey, what is going on, everybody? Oh my God, welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with a new video. Oh my God, as you can see, I came in with the Queen of Soul, Miss Aretha Franklin. Listen, now normally will be about current R&B bangers, but this is kind of a little bittersweet because this is the 100th episode of current R&B bangers. But we're gonna kind of switch it this week because the Queen hasn't been doing too good. So it's been reports of her, her health is not really doing good. But the latest is that she's at home and she's resting, and they said she's laughing and everything. So the prayers and everything has been good. But what's so crazy? I have been, ever since I've been hearing about Aretha, I have just been playing her all day. So I said it must be meant for me to just do a dedication video to her. And with this being the 100th current R&B bangers episode, I felt like why not do something special, and we're gonna just call this R&B bangers the Aretha Franklin edition. So I am so ready to get into this. This is just gonna be a nice little dedication to her. It's definitely my personal favorite because I know when it comes to Aretha, it's really hard to kind of pick your favorites. You know what I'm saying? My INA crew, they was asking like, what was your top 10? And it's crazy because Aretha is the type of artist where you just can't pick 10 songs. You know what I'm saying? So for this video, I wanted to kind of be a little bit uplifting and having a good time and all that, and not thinking about the health problems going on, or maybe you're dealing with something. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to kind of make it a fun video. So what I wanted to do was do my top 5 up-tempo songs from Aretha Franklin. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys are ready to sing along with me, give a little background of the songs, jam a little bit. And y'all see I came in with my wine, so it's a little special, especially since it's the 100th episode of current R&B bangers. So I'm excited about that. So let's get it started. Let's start this off. So starting it off at number 5 is coming from the classic Lady Soul album that actually turned 50 this year. You know what I'm saying? And I celebrated, and I actually have the vinyl. I have it over there if I could have pulled it out and ran and got it, but it's going to take me too long, so I ain't going to do that. But the Lady of Soul album, it has A Chain of Fools on it. It has Ain't No Way. It has A Natural Woman. And a personal favorite of mine, which is actually in my top 10 favorite Aretha Franklin songs, is Good to Me As I Am to You. Like, that song is just like everything to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. I love the emotion of it. Let me tell you something. Aretha was fed up with Ted White. If you listen to that song, you could definitely tell like Aretha put all her emotions into it. But this album really, like, for me, I love looking at credits and who was part of it. This album has so many legends on it. You have King Curtis, who was part of Stax Records, and you have Bobby Womack, who is an absolute favorite of mine. He was playing the guitar on damn near the whole album, but doing the mixing, some of his parts got taken over, but he was still on a lot of songs. And Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton was actually in the group Cream, and he was a big part of this album. And what's so crazy that Eric Clapton said he was actually intimidated by Aretha, by her voice, because she was so talented and so gifted. He didn't feel like he was good enough to, be in her presence. So a lot of his parts he did when Aretha wasn't there. That just goes to show how, musicians really looked up to Aretha. You know what I'm saying? Because Aretha couldn't read music, but she was still so gifted, and she played the heck out of that piano. That's a gift, you know what I'm saying? And Eric Clapton saw it. So, you know what I'm saying? If you have never listened to the Lady of Soul album, I recommend it. Like, darn near, you heard all the hits. Like I said, it's Chain of Fools and Ain't No Way and I Feel Like a Natural Woman, and, all those songs is on there. So you heard darn near, about 40% of the album was on the radio. You know what I'm saying? But this song right here, to me, it still knocks. You know what I'm saying? One thing I really love about this song is Whitney does it. Whitney does it a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you the reason after I play the song. I just like it. When she did it at her classic Whitney concert, she did a medley of it. And I just love the medley that she did. But this song just still knocks. Even Aretha's version, like I can play it in my car, and you know what I'm saying, and I can jam to it, you know what I'm saying. So coming in at number 5, this is track number 6 on the Lady of Soul album, if I'm not mistaken, and let's get this started. So here we go. Oh, baby, since you've been gone, why'd you have to do it? Don't. Woo! Feel good to me. Bring in that bass like this, Woo! Woo! Ah! Oh, that feels so good. Make you want to move. Sweet. I didn't mean to run you away. It was wild on my list, but not in my heart. Hey, woo! Love that song. Like, you gotta move. It makes you want to move. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why Whitney does it so much, because her mother was singing background. You know what I'm saying? Her mother was singing background all over this Lady of Soul album. You know, Sissy was the one that did the high part on Ain't No Way, you know what I'm saying, that high soprano, she did that, and she was singing with the Sweet Inspirations, and she did a lot of background work for Aretha, so that's why Whitney kind of knew Aretha when she was young, and she kind of idolized her. So, you know what I'm saying, this song, I could see myself, because this song came out in 68, I could see myself with them playing this at the Apollo, and I'm going off, you know what I'm saying. I can imagine myself maybe doing a mashed potato or doing something, you know what I'm saying, or even doing the jerk like a little bit, you know what I'm saying. Like, this song is just dope, you know what I'm saying. And definitely when you think of an up-tempo from Aretha, this would be the one that you should definitely play, because a lot of the 60s work, Aretha, you know what I'm saying, everybody kind of goes to Respect and Think and Chain of Fools and all that, but a lot of people don't kind of go to Since You've Been Gone, and I think that has a little bit more of a funkiness to it, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's number 5 to me, you know what I'm saying? And for real, when we put on this joint with my family, to be honest with you, it's like a drink refill. You know it's time to refill, and you're going to dance to the bottle. That's what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you going to the bottle, you got your little cup or your glass or whatever you may drink, and you just going to the bar with it. You going back to go and get you another drink, but you're moving. You know what I'm saying? You're just not walking to it. You got to groove to it. So that's why I really, really love this song. So coming in at number 5 is Since You've Been Gone off the Lady of Soul album. All right, so now we're going from 68 and we're gonna go all the way to 98. We're gonna go all the way to 98, and this is the number 4 joint coming from Aretha Franklin, A Rose Is Still a Rose album. Now, when Aretha was, you know, when you was hearing that Aretha was coming out with a new album, and then she was working with all these young hot producers at the time. You know what I'm saying? She started working with Puffy. She started working with Lauryn Hill. She was working with Dallas Austin. She's worked with Babyface before, but Babyface was still popping. And she was working with Jermaine Dupri. But what I really love about A Rose Is Still a Rose album is they let Aretha be Aretha. You know what I'm saying? Like, they let her do her thing. Like, one thing about Aretha, she's a singer. They just let her sing. You know what I'm saying? They gave her some beats. They gave her, you know what I'm saying, Lauren with A Rose Is Still a Rose. It's so mellow. It's so smooth. And Aretha still did her thing on there. You know what I'm saying? Still took us to church after that bridge. You know what I'm saying? Then, Puffy gave her a banger. Of course, Babyface gave her a nice ballad. You know what I'm saying? Dallas Austin gave her a banger. You know what I'm saying? But to me, my favorite on the album is the joint that Jermaine Dupri produced, because Jermaine Dupri produced 2 songs, but this one was a banger, man. And Trina Rashad definitely helped write this song, and she also sung background on it. And this song is just a banger, man. And I wish, because it got released as a single after A Rose Is Still a Rose, but I just wish this would have gotten a lot more love. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something. You put this joint on in my house, we all groove into it. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about music in my house. If we can all groove to it, then you got something. You know what I'm saying? But we going to love Aretha regardless. But hey, if we don't dig it and everybody don't dig it, we ain't going to groove to it. But this song, we all grew to it, and I think it's a dope record, and I wish it would have got more shine. So this is track 4, and it goes a little something like this. Here we go. With the same old, you straighten up your act as I'm walking out the door. All this time, you thought I had a problem. Oh yeah. Come on, Aretha. Hoping things are tough, still you ain't around. Hey, woo, I'm getting my grooving. You must think I'm crazy. You must think I'm blind. You just want to keep me, boy, then stop wasting my time. Here we go again with the same old song. Yeah, can you don't do me like the other ones before, baby? Here we go again. Woo! Lean like this. Woo! This joint is a funky. Come on, man. You cannot not move to this joint. Jermaine Dupri gave Aretha a banger with this, man. Like, this is a nice bop. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. And then y'all can hear the Glow of Love change sample in this joint. You know what I'm saying? And this joint sounds like a Jermaine Dupri joint. Like, this beat, I felt like during that time, he could have gave this to Drew Hill for like the In My Bed remix. You know what I'm saying? Even though he gave him another one. But it just sounds like his sound. And I think, you know, Trina, she did her thing with the background vocals and her writing this joint. It's like, it's a banger. You know what I'm saying? Because it, to me, it gives you like that 70s type of vibe, but it still has a 90s flavor to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I said I can dig it, my grandma can dig it, my mom can dig it, and it just crossed all. You know what I'm saying? This is a time where, this is 98, you know what I'm saying? This is kind of like my era starting. So I'm digging it, my mom digging it, my grandma digging it. So you cross all boundaries right there. So I think this joint is such a banger. And like I said, you know, I wish this song would have got so much more love than what it did. But I must say, I think Aretha did this on the Divas Live in 1998. And let me tell you something. She was wearing her little white linen suit. And I guess she had the fans blowing because Aretha was letting that thing swing, boy. And she was just, here we go again with the same old song. So I was like, okay, Aretha, I'm with you, girl. So, yeah, this joint is such a dope joint. You know what I'm saying? But listen, if you got a chance, you know what I'm saying, go check out Aretha's A Rose Is Still a Rose album, because I felt like all the people that worked with her let her be Aretha, but they still gave her a current sound, which this album kind of like reminds me of a little what like DJ Camper and K Tronada kind of did for Mary with Strength of a Woman. They let Mary be Mary, but then they also gave her a little current style to it. So y'all go check out A Rose Is Still a Rose, but Here We Go Again is a banger. So that's the number 4 joint. Alrighty, so we are at the number 3 joint, and this is coming from Aretha Franklin's Who Zoom and Who album. Now, this album is when Aretha got with Michael Walden. She got with him, and they made a great album together, because this album has Freeway of Love, that was a big hit. R.I.P. to the big man, Clarence Clemens. And the joint Push and Integrity is a favorite of mine from Aretha. Oh my God. One thing I love that, you know, if Aretha gets with writers and they write her songs or whatever, they'll let Aretha get a song and it's just her and the piano, and that's when integrity is, for real. But if y'all definitely check Who's Zooming Who, because you gotta realize, no, this is not the album. I'm about to go too far. My bad. But this is track 4. It's such a great 80s tune. It makes you want to groove in your little preppy 80s outfit. You know what I'm saying? You know how they were back then. The preppy look, you know what I'm saying? I think this song definitely make you want to groove. So here we go. Who's zooming who? Ah! Who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? Woo! Who's zooming who? Get my snake on. Come on back. Woo! Who's zooming who? Ah! Who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? Ah! Ah! Who's zooming who? Ah! That's a banger right there. Oh my God. Yo, I can see myself if they was allowing like drinks on top of the pops in the 80s, and I can see me with my preppy look, and when that song come on, I'm just nice with my little 2-step, just walking around and just grooving. They can get me on camera and I'm just jamming like, who's zooming who? That song is so 80s, but it feels so, it's a feel good record. You know what's so crazy about this record? This record has a lot of legends a part of this record. You got Randy Jackson, who's a part of American Idol. He's been in the industry for so long. He's playing bass on this. You have the legendary Sylvester, Vicki Randle, and Carolyn Franklin doing the background vocals. Like, learn about your background vocalist, people. Like, Vicki Randle is a problem on background. She has sang background for a lot of people. And the producer that worked with Mariah Carey is playing keyboards. His name is Walter Allen Franan, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. You know what I'm saying? But he's playing keyboard. That is a lot of heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? And they gave Aretha, this joint is a mainstream type of joint, but it still has a type of funk to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think it's just so groovy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Walden got with Aretha Franklin and gave her and blessed her with some dope joints for real. And you know what's so crazy? When Aretha did this album, because she said, what she said when this album came out, she was like, you know, I've been listening to the radio and I'm liking what I'm hearing. So when I did my album, I felt like I could hear this on the radio. So Aretha was like, this is one of my best albums in years. And coming from a person that has so many albums, for her to say that, I was like, whoa, that's big. You know what I'm saying? But look, if you haven't checked out Who's Zooming Who, I would recommend it. Y'all go check it out so y'all can groove like I was, or craziness and everything. But side note, I want y'all to also go listen to How Will I Know by Aretha. By Whitney Houston, and listen to Who's Zooming Who, and listen to both of those. And tell me if you don't hear something very similar. You know what I'm saying? It's very similar. I always say, did Walden do a little recycling? You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds very similar. But y'all check it out and y'all tell me what y'all think, and y'all put in the more info about it in the comment section, and y'all let me know what y'all hearing, because I've been hearing that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Alrighty, so that is number 3. Who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? Alrighty. So the next joint is coming from when Miss Aretha Franklin and Mr. Luther Vandross came together in 1982. They came together. Now, allegedly, you know what I'm saying, that it was said that Aretha and Luther kind of clashed in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you got Aretha Franklin, who's the queen. You know what I'm saying? And you got Luther, who is the new guy but got hits. You know what I'm saying? He has hits. And obviously, you know what I'm saying, Clive Davis sees that and he puts them two together. So you see that, you know what I'm saying, Aretha walking in like, listen, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you going to listen. And Luther had to let her know, like, listen, you might be the queen, but who got the hits now? And you know, when you got two divas in the studio together, you know how that gonna go. So, but anyway, you know, after Sparkle, which came out in 1976, after that, Aretha started having, it was like, her albums really wasn't making any noise anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because the direction of music was changing. It always is. That's what these artists need to understand. A certain artist that want to put people out right now, but that's neither here nor there. You have your time. And sometimes when music change, sometimes you can't change with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole different thing. So by the time, you know, Aretha had it between 1967 and 74, Aretha had it on lock. It was like nobody was touching her. But it started to change. Disco really was coming into mainstream now. So then you had people like Natalie Cole that was really influenced by her. And then Donna Summer coming in. And you had so many people coming in. It wasn't about just, you know, it was, the soul was there, but it was just a different change in music. And people were it was kind of like, Aretha, okay, you've done your 7 years. It's time for somebody new. So when she did Sparkle and got with Curtis Mayfield, which I feel is one of the best soundtracks, actually my second favorite, and them two created magic. But after that, it was like Aretha just couldn't find, her albums just wasn't hitting like they used to. So you know what I'm saying? So finally she left Atlantic Records, who she was with, and she got with Arista, with Clive Davis. So of course Clive Davis is hearing what the heck is going on, and he's a great A&R. Like you know what I'm saying? Because he was the president at Arista, if I'm not mistaken. When he got there, was he the president? I don't know. Maybe he was an A&R and he went to the president. I don't know. But he got Aretha, got her to Arista, and how she calls him when she won her award for this album, she called it Arista. But, excuse me, Arista. And, you know, he was like, let me put her with Luther, you know what I'm saying, and see what they can do. And they created a good album, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the Jump to It album, in my opinion, is an R&B gem. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people, when it goes to Aretha's catalog, a lot of people don't go to Jump to It. You know what I'm saying? Jump to It got some bangers on it, let me tell you. You know what I'm saying? Love Me Right is a favorite of mine because it's so smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's after the hit that I'm going to play. And Luther comes in, love me right. And then the background vocalists come in. It's a dope record. Then If She Don't Want Your Lovin' Is a Thing of Mine, and also It's Your Thing. But the track one, the title track, it knocks. Luther and Marcus Miller gave Aretha a banger with this, and Aretha did a thing with it. And of course, when you're talking about up-tempos, you gotta play this joint. So here we go. You guys are ready to sing along. All right, here we go.
I can't talk to you now, girl. I got love again. Now, baby, goes.
Never jump to it.
I'm in a hurry. There's love to get.
My baby got it. Now jump to it.
Jump to it.
Oh.
Jump to it.
Woo! I'm gonna do the beginning. Jump to it. Woo! I'm getting my little two-step. Wish y'all could see my feet, but it's all good. Woo! That joint. Ooh, so smooth. Yes, Luther and Riri came with some fire. You know what I'm saying? But I got something to say about this record. You can definitely tell that Luther was definitely influenced by Aretha, for sure. He always said it. But in my opinion, this song is part 2 of Dr. Feelgood from Aretha's I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You album. The longest title ever. But I feel like I'm sorry, the hook came in. I gotta get my snake on with that. I'm sorry. But, so, this, I feel like this is part 2 of Dr. Feelgood, because y'all know Dr. Feelgood when Aretha says, when she get into that bridge and she be like, I dig you girls, I don't just, what she said, I dig you. Dang, this song is on and I can't even think about it. What she said, I dig you girls, but I just don't have time to sit with you and chit chat and smile. Don't send me no doctor. Da, 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 da. But with this song, Aretha is saying, I can't talk to you now, girl. Like, I love to get. Like, it's just kind of like, it's maybe weird. Y'all might be like, you bugging right now. But just think about it. Like, that, I feel like it's his part 2. You know what I'm saying? To that record. I feel like him and Marcus Miller was definitely listening to Dr. Feelgood, and they kind of worked around that. Just my opinion. I always said that about Jump to It, but Jump to It is a banger. Again, Miss Sissy Houston is singing background with Aretha on this, and probably Whitney was there in the studio when her mother was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Sissy has been sung on a lot of Aretha's hits, I'm telling you, but Jump to It. Let me tell you something. You play this at a family function, people is going to groove to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this is definitely a cookout. I don't want to say old people because that's just so terrible. But it's a cookout type of record. You play this at a black family reunion, people will groove to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a dope record. It makes you want to move and makes you want to get a nice little 2-step going. So when you're talking about an up-tempo, you got to talk about Jump to It. So this joint is a banger. That's number 2. And R.I.P. to Luther Vandross. All right, y'all. We are at the number 1 spot. My favorite up-tempo song. This song is actually coming from the classic, The Young, Gifted, and Black album that consists of a lot of Aretha Franklin classics. We're talking about Daydreaming, A Brand New Me, Young, Gifted, and Black. But my favorite is track 3. This was another big hit for Aretha. This came out in 72, so this was a big banger for her in 72 going into 73. I feel like Aretha and the musicians just had a jam session. They jammed, and they had a jam session, and the background vocalist was just following right in. It just seemed like a jam session. This is a song where I wish that I was like literally there for the making of it, because I know whoever was there during the making of this probably was grooving like crazy, because it's funky, it's a groove, you gotta dance to it, and that's why this joint is number 1. And here we go. Hits from left to right. What it is that I might be doing? This funky dance on the up in the air. No, you ain't gotta care. Rock steady, baby. Hey, rock steady, woo, rock steady, baby. Come on in now. Woo. Let me get the click clap going. What's the feeling from side to side? Woo! Get yourself down in your car and take a ride. Will you move? Rock steady, baby. Let's call this song exactly what it is. Let's fucking on that feeling. Nigga hits from left to right. What it is and then I might be doing this funky dance all night. Woo! Woo! That just feels so good like that. You cannot tell me you're not feeling this record, y'all. Like, It feels so good. It's funky. I bet you James Brown, when he heard that, he was rocking to it. I'm sorry, it jams. I had to give y'all a long one for that one because this is a banger. Oh my God. But you know what? Like, and anytime I think about Rocksteady, I think about Crooklyn, the part where they was playing this, and then they was showing, you know, the kids grooving in the room. They was doing the click clack. They was just going off. Someone was doing the bump, and then they cut right to the Soul Train audience, and they coming down the Soul Train line. The best thing ever. Like, this song is just dope. But it's a lot with this record. Let me tell you this. It's a lot with this record because let me tell you something. Chucky Rainey is playing the hell out of that bass guitar. Y'all, when y'all listen to the song, listen to the bass. This guy is playing the hell out of that bass. Donny Hathaway is on organ. He is making that organ well. You hear me? You got Aretha Franklin on the piano. He's on the electric piano and he's on the organ. Aretha's on the piano. Then you got Wayne Jackson of the Bar Keys. He's playing. What is he playing? I think he was playing I think he was either playing the horn or the. He had to be playing the horn. And then you had Andrew Love, who was also part of Stax. He was part of, you know, the studio band. He was playing the horns. Like, yo, this album is just, not album, but this song is just so funky. It's just a jam session, like a real jam session. That's why I wish I was there for that. And this song is just dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it reminds me of Crooklyn. It's like I have to break into the click clap when I hear it. You know what I'm saying? I want to go down the Soul Train line. Like, that's how much I love this song. So when you talk about up-tempo, Aretha Franklin's Rocksteady has to be number one for me. And that's why it had to be number one on this list. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this joint, Rocksteady, don't make you dance, I don't know what does. You know what I'm saying? Like, this song is just dope. But that's my number one song. So there you go, y'all. Those are my 5 up-tempo Aretha Franklin songs. Coming at number 5 is Since You've Been Gone. Number 4 is Here We Go. Number 3 is Who, Zoom In Who. Number 2 is Jump, Jump, Jump to It. And number 1 is Rock Steady. Oh my God. Now, I know Aretha has, like me and my mom was discussing today and yesterday, Aretha has a catalog where there's so many songs. And maybe there's a couple of songs that I didn't talk about that's up-tempo. Put it in the comment section. Let me know what's your top 5 up-tempo Aretha Franklin songs. You know what I'm saying? And tell me what y'all think about these albums that I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Those was dope. But this was definitely a quick dedication to the Queen of Soul. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the beginning of the week, they were saying that her health was definitely failing, but it feels so good to hear that we all praying for her because Aretha is a national treasure. Let's just be honest with it. But it feels so good to hear that she's doing better and that she's laughing and she's around family, around love. But I'm so glad that, you know, prayer works. And, you know, we all been praying. I know I've been praying and, you know, just, you know, continue to give Aretha the strength. You know what I'm saying? Again, she's a national treasure. And Aretha crossed all age groups. She crossed all nationalities. She crossed all genres. She crossed everything. And Aretha is just the blueprint, really. You know what I'm saying? She got hers from Donna Washington. She took it and everybody followed her. So this was my dedication to her. And you know, with this being 100 current R&B bangers episodes, I felt like, hey, if we're going to talk about R&B bangers, why not give it to the queen? So that's why I wanted to do that. So I want to thank y'all for keep watching me and my craziness while I'm dancing, all that good stuff. And y'all really enjoyed it. I try to represent R&B the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate it. So this is to 100 episodes and 100 more and 100 more because I'm going to keep representing R&B the right way, y'all. But I'm going to definitely go out on a favorite of mine. And this is actually a personal favorite of mine, of me and my mom. And this is her cover of Benny King classic. And I love hers better than his original. So here we go. Rose and Spanish Harlem. I'm out, y'all. Peace. See y'all next week. Subscribe, Junior's World of Soul. Check me out on my IG page, which is Junior's World of Soul. My Facebook, my Twitter, all that good stuff. I'll put everything in the more info box. I'll see y'all next week, y'all. Peace.